After a disappointing end to the season, Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone had their exit interviews today, speaking with the press, speaking with the media, addressing Anthony Volpe, addressing Dominguez, Spencer Jones, Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, injuries that we endured throughout the season, the timetable for said injuries. But before we get into that, Brian Cashman directly responds to what Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez said about his relationship with Aaron Boone. Now, Aaron Boone's decisions throughout these games have been second guessed, triple guessed, quadruple guessed every single time. And at certain points, it seems as if his decision making is so poor, so bad, so non-baseball player-like. It has people wondering, is he even making these decisions? Are these decisions coming from the top down? Is Brian Cashman giving him a call saying, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that? What is the deal? And two of the loudest voices that shared this sentiment were Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. Derek Jeter, you know him very well. Mr. November, Derek Jeter. And then you have Alex Rodriguez, who came over in a trade, came over in the offseason from the Texas Rangers, helped win a championship here in New York as well, righting some wrongs, and both of these players critical of Aaron Boone's decisions.
Yeah, and look, again, Aaron's been very classy. We've all been very consistent with that. Honestly, from the entire organization, he's the one guy with Circle that has least to blame. I mean, he's got a lot of talent, but for me personally, one of the worst construction of a roster I've ever seen. You have 3 left-handed catchers, you have 5 DHs, you have a first baseman in and out. It's just a very, very difficult hand for Boone, and honestly, they were exposed against a much better Jays team.
Yeah, I mean, look, Aaron said it. They got beat. They got beat. You know, last year you can sit back and talk about the World Series in Game 5, and you can say Yankees beat themselves in that particular game. In this series, the Toronto Blue Jays proved that they were a better team. Right? From top to bottom, they were a better team. What's tough is for the Yankee fans, right? This is the second year in a row that they've watched another team celebrate on their home field. And you can feel the frustration. But, look, those press conferences that Aaron just did, we've all been in them. They're very, very difficult because we've been a part of teams that we thought we're going to win a World Series, thought we were the best team, and it didn't happen, right? So I think sometimes you got to sit down and let it all digest for a minute. And I think it's probably a longer conversation to what you had brought up, Al. But Aaron did a good job. I mean, look, he's working with what he has to work with, and he sticks up for his players. I know he takes a lot of heat. But, look, I'm not saying it from any inside knowledge, but I'm pretty sure Aaron's not the one that's calling every move that they make throughout the game.
I'm pretty sure Aaron's not the one that's calling every move that they make throughout the game. Alex Rodriguez focusing on Brian Cashman and his roster construction. Let's hear what Brian Cashman had to say earlier today on WFAN radio.
Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter implied and basically said that decisions in game are coming from the front office and are not being made by Aaron Boone. Is that true, not true? How do you respond to that?
It's not true, clearly. Appreciate you asking so I can clarify. And they don't know. Clearly, they don't know. I know that DJ said that. I don't know what he meant by it. He did say he doesn't have inside knowledge when he said it, but he did say it for whatever reason. And I think that's the boogaboo that people get to throw out there when they got nothing else to throw. You know, it's like, essentially he agrees with me that Aaron Boone's a good manager. This is Derek's commentary, and I agree with him. And then, there's always the boogeyman of other people are making the calls. Analytics. People like to throw that too, and none of that's accurate. At the end of the day, you put Joe Torre on a deposition, you put Joe Girardi under a deposition, or you put Aaron Boone under a deposition. I've never picked a lineup. We've never picked a lineup. We don't tell them who to play. We don't tell them who to pitch, whether it's the pen or the rotation. We do have conversations, like every organization, about what's best at times, in our opinion, their opinion. They'll ask us various different things, and that's about process and setups. But in the end of the day, they have the power of the lineup and in game, and it just isn't the case. So it's just a sad, throwaway comment for people to make that don't really know.
Response. Jeter and A-Rod said that because of the consistent bonehead moves in making the lineup, bullpen misses, etc. I think as ball players, in their eyes, there's no way Boone is making those moves. If it is Boone making the final decision, then he's got to go. Easy as that. This is all a well-crafted response. Sure, technically Cashman isn't telling Boone every day what to do. Instead, the directive from Cashman to Boone is follow our analytics, and Boone cannot go against it, or he has to answer to it. As if Cashman is going to tell Evan the truth. Cashman isn't calling to the dugout telling Aaron Boone what moves to make, but Cashman is crafting the game plan that Boone isn't allowed to go against. Derek was there for 20 years. Derek knows how Cashman operates. Evan does not. So Boone is that stupid all by himself. Got it. Damn. The guy is full of shit. He most definitely tells Boone and what is scripted for each game. Boone can't be that dumb as a baseball guy. Then again, rinse and repeat. Yankees are a glorified wildcard team. Nothing more until Cashman and Boone are finally gone. You couldn't pay me to go to a game until then. Jeter will always be the Yankee I trust the most. Boone is not even on the list. Aaron is a liar. I don't believe Cashman. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As far as roster construction, the main 9 that we put out there defensively, the main 8 pitchers aside, Boone has options to play a better shortstop in Caballero once we acquired him, and he didn't. That's a Boone decision. If that's not a Boone decision, if that was a Cashman, I have no idea. But that's a decision that I disagreed with. Ben Rice playing at first base while Austin Wells stunk up the joint swinging the bat. Put Ben Rice behind the plate and let Paul Goldschmidt step in there at first base. I don't care who's making that decision. That's the decision that should have been made. That's the choice that should have been made. Trent Grisham watching a called third strike time after time after time after time again, while Dominguez is rotting away at the bench, on the bench. I don't care whose decision, Boone or Cashman, that was a decision that needed to be made. He needed to be implemented into the lineup. Put Cody Bellinger back at center. Move Dominguez to left. If Dominguez is more comfortable at center, leave him at center. Keep Cody at left. Did Brian Cashman call Aaron Boone and say, Aaron, you're going to sit Jazz Chisholm game 1 in the wild card against Garrett Crochet? I don't believe that happened. Regardless, I think these two people, Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone, they're now tied to each other at the hip. They're going to cover for each other one way or the other. We're going to get into it a little bit later, but Brian Cashman supports Aaron Boone. Damn near confirmed that Aaron Boone is returning as a manager of this New York Yankees club. Ahmed Rosario. I thought he was a fine pickup. But Brian Cashman, you got to eat this. Doval, terrible. Luke Weaver, terrible. Williams, good acquisition. Bednar, good acquisition. Now, when it comes to what these people are saying in the comments about Cashman saying we need to focus on the analytics and Boone can't stray away from that, well, then that's where that leads credence to that argument. Because anybody with 2 ears, a mouth, and a nose can see this lineup needs to change. Anybody with 2 ears, a mouth, and a nose can see Caballero needs to come in there for Anthony Volpe. Ben Rice needs to move to catcher so Paul Goldschmidt can play at first. especially while Austin Wells can't hit the ball. Jason Dominguez needs to stop rotting on the bench and come play in the outfield. If the direction from Cashman is analytics, and Boone knows that I got to follow the script, well, then in a roundabout way, that's Brian Cashman calling the shots. When we have Luis Hill getting taken out of the game early for whatever reason against the Blue Jays, game 1, is that analytics? Who went in for him? Is that analytics? Not going to Will Warren, still letting Luke Weaver come in the game? Whatever the case may be, changes need to be made. And we're going to get into what Brian Cashman said shortly, but Aaron Boone not returning as a manager doesn't seem to be one of the choices being made. Brian Cashman said in that press conference, they want to win. They're disappointed. Hal is disappointed. Hal, we didn't even see any of Hal. Disappointment is setting in. My response is, make some championship moves. Go out and get a few guys that will help contribute to this team being a championship team. You refused to give Soto what he wanted. Whether we agreed or disagreed with his demands, if Soto was in the lineup this year, we're waltzing our way to the World Series. Go out and get a Luis Arias, a Josh Naylor, re-sign Cody, re-sign Ahmed Rosario. Go get Bo Bichette from the Blue Jays. Swing big for Paul Skeens. Do whatever you need to do. If we're going to be hoarding these guys in the minors, Spencer Jones, Lombard Jr., whoever it might be, if we're going to hoard these guys and not give them an opportunity, get rid of them. If our minor league system is strong with starting pitching as what it appears to be, send Luis Hill somewhere else. See what you can get for him. See if you can get a Steven Kwan for him. See what's out there. Call up Philadelphia. You guys made a bad play with the Stanton contract. Call up Philadelphia. See what they're willing to do to get Bryce. He can come play your everyday first base. Move Ben Rice to your catcher. There are moves to be made. Let's see what moves get made. Like the video, comment, subscribe. I appreciate the support. See you later. Have a good one.